Well, in a decision that has top Texas officials jubilant tonight, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that SB 4, the law allowing the state to arrest illegal border crossers, can take effect as the case returns to the federal appellate court for a full argument on the merits. And just yesterday, the court had extended the temporary block on the law. But today, both Mexican officials and the Biden administration were outraged. In a statement, the White House press office called the ruling harmful and unconstitutional. And then, hilariously, they contend that it would burden law enforcement and, quote, sow chaos. Joining me now, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. All right, Dan, now you guys are causing chaos by enforcing laws that the feds refuse to enforce. Explain that to me.
Well, you know, Laura, we've talked about invasion so many times on your show that you've had me on. And I always believed, and I thank my great legal team and Senator Charles Perry, we wrote this bill and we believed that we could make the case that this was a better law that failed from Arizona many years ago in the Supreme Court. It was a better law. It is constitutional because we could prove up we're being invaded. And that's, I think, is the key. Land, by sea, by air. You know the story of the drones, 1,000 drones a month. You know, boats have been coming into Florida for years, bringing in drugs and illegal immigrants and the millions that have crossed over Biden's open border policy. So I always believed in this bill. A lot of people didn't. I believed in it. And this is law now. It has to be finally adjudicated at some point in the courts. But we believe this is a great first step. And we're going to start arresting illegals and sending them back to Mexico or putting them in jail.
Good. Now, the Mexican Foreign Affairs Secretary, no surprise here, reacted to the ruling this way, saying Mexico expresses its rejection of the decision of the Supreme Court for the entry into force, the SB 4. Our country will not accept repatriations from the state of Texas. The dialogue on immigration matters will continue, et cetera, et cetera. So what a big change from the days where the Remain in Mexico policy was the law of the land under Trump, where basically they said, you don't allow us to send these people back and wait in your country. We're going to slap a huge tariff on your goods. And suddenly Mexico was like, what can I do?
Yeah. And look, Laura, President Trump, and I talked with him today after the Supreme Court decision, he had the border secured. And Joe Biden, open border policy, at least 10 million that have come across the 28 bridges from Mexico to Texas. That doesn't count all the millions that get through that we can't catch or we don't see. And of course, Mexico's taking that stand. And when President Trump returns to the White House, I believe that border will be closed on day one. And then he's going to begin sending back the people who are here illegally. And, you know, there was a time, Laura, that some people said, well, you can't do that. Let me tell you what, whether you live in a red state or a blue state, a red city or a blue city, the citizens are fed up with the illegal immigrants all over their cities, all over their counties, and they will be supportive overwhelmingly, I believe, of President Trump's decision to do that. Laura, this is such an historic night. And again, we're going to see it all the way through. I believe we'll do well in the Fifth Circuit, and it will go back to the Supreme Court. And I think today was a good first step. You're the legal eagle here. You've worked on the Supreme Court. I'm not a lawyer. I just knew this was a common sense bill that had to happen because we are truly being invaded in Texas and in America.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. That's the Biden administration's policy.
That's the plan. And we're going to start arresting them. Starts tomorrow.
All right, Dan, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.